Good morning, sixth graders. It's Mrs. Reed, and I'm not able to be in the classroom with you today, so I did a little recording so we could go through continue our Genius Hour. I know many of you are so excited and you've had ideas and you've talked to me about some of them and taken off on some of those ideas. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're still going to work on that today using this video with the sub, and please make sure that you're being very respectful. Genius Hour, first of all, is not free time. I think most of you know that. We have a few expectations. In order for this to work, and again, I really value this time and think that I'm excited about what you're going to come up with and think it's going to be very valuable. It's important that each day you have a goal or a plan that you're going to work on, and during the time in class that you stay on task, that we're using that time. So whatever your driving question, and hopefully you'll be so passionately curious about the topic that you pick that you'll be focused, like we talked about the kindergartners or little kids that are working on Legos or blocks, and nothing could interrupt them. Students may use supplies. We always have the supplies on the black shelves in my room, and if there's anything else, we'll try to make sure that we get it for you. But if you use something, you need to make sure that you take care of it and put it back where it was. And you may choose a location to sit, but it should not be a choice to be by somebody else, because we are working individually on these first projects. It needs to be a workable space, so if you need to type, make sure it's a space that you're comfortable typing, or if you're writing, that you have a hard surface so that you can write. And make sure your goal is not to be by somebody that distracts you, because we really want to be successful and the rest of the class wants to make sure that we can continue to use this time as well. Our targets today, our goal hopefully by the end of the hour, is that you will choose a Genius Hour topic that you're passionately curious about, that's going to drive you and that's going to keep you focused and on task. You will also write a driving question for the project, and we're going to talk about how to do that. We're going to need to go a little slow and think about this, because the driving question is going to be really important for the entire project. So that's where we're going to start, with the choosing a topic and coming up with that question. If you think back to the Padlet wall, and you can look at it, it's on my site, please don't add anything to it. But if you want to look at the different topics that people came up with later on when we're working quietly by ourselves, you can look back at that Padlet. Think about what topic that you are really passionate about that you've chosen, and then what is it about your topic that you want to learn more about. I'm going to ask the sub to go ahead and pause the video here and pass out a piece of white paper to everybody. Please fill them in on how we just hand out a stack at the front of the table and you guys pass it down. On the white paper, would you go ahead and brainstorm the topic and what you want to know about that topic? So really think about, if you put down, I want to build things, is it building with wood? Is it architecture? Is it engineering? Is it building with plastic? Is it building with Legos? With what materials? So some of the guiding questions, depending, is it how to build cars? Are there a certain item that you want to know how to build? How are cars built? How are homes built? Think about what you want to know about that topic and do some brainstorming. Take about 5 minutes on that white paper. Pause the video while they do their 4 or 5 minutes of brainstorming. Now that you have brainstormed what you really want to know about that topic, we're going to turn that into your driving question. And again, a driving question has lots of possibilities. This is what you will search for and find out. So if on the Padlet wall you had written, I want to be an inventor, a possible driving question, use the how or the what. How does someone become an inventor? So you might investigate the process and write out the steps that somebody takes to become an inventor. You could also research a famous, like, how did Albert Einstein become an inventor? How did Thomas Edison become an inventor? He borrowed a lot of ideas. So researching that could be a question also. How did so-and-so become an inventor? And you would plug in a famous inventor you know. So decide how you want to word that driving question. Some more examples, and a lot of these different topics can be plugged into. So if I wanted to be a baseball star, if I want to be a hockey star, any kind of different athlete or athletic, or some kind of skill or competition, it would fit into how does someone become, and you research the process. And if you have a specific person or that you want to focus your project on, then it would be what did blank do to become, and whatever kind of gymnast or star that they are. So a lot of different topics can be filled into these templates of driving questions. I want to learn about cooking. Are you focusing in on just cooking at home, like you want to make healthy meals, or are you focusing in on becoming a professional chef? How do you study to become a professional chef? If you again have a specific chef, like Emeril is a famous TV chef, or Rachel Ray, how did Rachel Ray become a famous chef? And then that's going to focus in on her life story and how wherever she studied or how she learned to be such a good cook and a TV personality. If one of it was, I want to help people or I want to save endangered animals, one approach could be, what is being done to save endangered animals? Another way you could ask that question is, how can students help save endangered animals? So you would research ways, maybe things that are already being done and new possible ways that could be done. If you had put, I want to learn how to make video games, what skills are required to make video games? So you could research the process, learn and maybe make a how-to, or you could figure out some kind of project to show the process of making games. Another way would be, what steps does someone take to make a video game? So there are different, you might have a certain application. How do they make video games with coding, computer coding, if you wanted to learn about that? So be very specific, and again, please pause the video for about 5 to 7 minutes and begin writing out, brainstorming on the white paper, your driving question. Please take time, try it in a few different ways to make sure that you get it in a good way that's going to keep you driven on this project. All right, now you should have your topic and your driving question. If you still need help, do not worry, because I can help you when we have some work time next week. Or keep thinking about it and trying to brainstorm on your own, and maybe there's someone else in the classroom as well that during a work time can help you. Now the question becomes, how do I find the information I need to answer my driving question? Again, it may not be just going to the internet and looking on an internet site. Think about what you are trying to find out. Are you learning a new skill? Are you trying to find out about a career? And think, there are a lot of different online sources. So think about, is it something about universities? If I want to be an engineer, I might research on a university site like University of Michigan. I do have some links, resources on my Genius Hour page, and I'll show you those at the end of the video. Are there any government agencies like the Department of Transportation? Are there any industries, like if you're looking at how to build a car, is there anything on Ford? How to build a jet plane, is there anything on Boeing as a company that builds jets? You may need to research and find out what companies build that item. There may be places for inventors, organizations that help with patents, the patent office. The government has an official patent office. Government sites are another possibility. But you also need to think about, can I survey people? Are there experts in our area, scientists, somebody that works for Howmet that makes airplane parts? Can I find a how-to video? Can I read the news? Is it more of a current event that I need to read current sources about? Can I email an expert? Do I need to go somewhere? Will this require you to go out in the community? We talked about looking at a scuba diving school. Do I need to take a class? And that's something, we don't want it to cost money, but even there might be videos that are classes online, and it's more of a tutorial. Maybe you want to create a tutorial. Do I need to find an instruction manual, something that's going to tell me step by step how to do? There's lots of possibilities, and all of these may be able to be found online as well, or you may need to go out somewhere depending on the topic that you chose. And again, this is all new and exciting to me as well. I'm not sure what we're going to need, but I'm going to do my best to help you find the resources. So if you could, again, pause the video for about 4 or 5 minutes and make a list of where you think sources that you might begin your search, where you would begin your search to look for. The final step today, you have your topic, your driving question, and you maybe begin to think about the resources where you're going to look for your information. If you would go onto my Google site on the Genius Hour page and complete the Genius Hour survey. This is going to just tell me what your topic is, your driving question, and it should be down on your brainstorm paper in front of you on the white paper. So you're going to type it into the computer so that I can see everybody's and see where we are after this class. And then if you have some time after the survey, begin to look at one of your sites that you thought, if there's a site or something online that you were going to use to research, take some time and remember, whenever you're researching for your Genius Hour, you need to record good notes in a format that's going to be useful to you in your project. But if you don't write things down, you won't remember them, because we have a whole another week until we come back to it next Friday. So please write down notes as well. Good luck, and I'm really excited to hear what you guys did and to see your surveys.